Ya, baik Mbak Elsa ya. Karena Bu Sutriwina ya itu masih dalam perjalanan, nanti kita mulai dulu. Mungkin setelah itu nanti beliau baru bergabung ya.
Baik,
Ya,
Pak.
nanti ini Mbak Elsa tinggal di mana? Surabaya atau luar Surabaya? Halo, Mbak Elsa
Saya
tinggal di
di
mana?
Mojokerto, Pak.
Oh,
Saya di
Mojokerto sini.
Mojokerto, Pak.
Iya,
Ya,
nggak terlalu jauh ya. Oke, mudah-mudahan jaringannya
ya.
nggak terganggu ya. Nggak.
Amin.
Eh, nanti kita coba you may use in English or maybe you may use in bahasa Indonesia. It depend on you, Pak Elsa ya. And then we try to deliver
Yes.
some question to you. Try to answer. We not discussion but deliver question and then you may answer ya. Okay, Mbak Elsa ya. Okay, let's start here.
Yes.
Maybe from what is your maybe reason why you are interested to become English teacher, Mbak Elsa? The reason why you are interested
Okay.
become English teacher. Silahkan.
So basically, uh, I love English since I was in elementary school until I was in college. I still love English and I also love teaching because when I teach students, when I like share my knowledge to the students, I feel the happiest when I can deliver something to them, when I can teach them something new, and when I saw them like gaining some new knowledge, I feel satisfied and I'm the happiest when I share my what I know to them.
Yeah, you say that starting elementary school. Have you ever learned study English at elementary school, Mbak Elsa? You.
Yes, I started learning. I actually started learning when I was in kindergarten, but
Mhm.
I started growing loving English when I was in elementary school.
You get English lesson from elementary school, yeah? Or
Yes.
maybe you join maybe course, English course.
I joined English course when I was in junior high school, sir.
You know. Okay, wait a minute ya. And then here, have you ever joined maybe competition, Mbak Elsa?
Yes, I joined several competitions, debate competition when I was in senior high school, and then storytelling competition when I was in college.
Yeah. How many maybe how many time you join English competition here? Maybe at maybe senior high school or maybe elementary school.
In senior high school, I joined debate competition twice,
Mm-hmm.
and
Is it
in
individual debate or group debate?
group debate.
What is the result with your competition? You become the winner?
No, because I was still like starting new as a
Uh-huh.
debater. The best achievement that I got with my teammates is become an octo finalist of English Week in UNESA.
Oh, Indonesia, yeah. And then, uh, where did you study English at maybe university? In
Uh,
Indonesia
Brawijaya
or private
University.
university, yeah. Yeah, it's so from Malang, yeah.
Yes,
Okay. This is education, maybe deep program or non-education program at
I come
Brawijaya,
from non-education program.
non-education. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay. And then, uh, how long you study English at Malang, Brawijaya University, Mbak
um,
Esa?
3 years and 8 months.
Oh, 3 years and 8 months, yeah.
Yes.
And then when you are learning studying English at Brawijaya University, you maybe try to become a private learning, like maybe like from uh, informal course or maybe informal English course automatically, or you only studying and learning English at Brawijaya University.
I did my internship at English First Malang.
Mm-mm.
So I gained some experiences on how to teach a kids from being a teacher assistant in English First Malang. I also uh, did some private lesson to some kids in Malang and become an extracurricular teacher in one of the junior high school in Malang.
Yeah. Is it interesting work? Become English teacher, Mbak Elsa?
Yes, pretty much because I experienced some new things. I met some students
Yeah. Actually, when maybe
are
we are maybe,
smart,
mm-mm,
some are
you get
smart,
problem
some
with
are.
networking.
Oh, okay, sir. Is it okay now?
Yeah, you can get your voice now. But maybe a
Okay,
few minutes ago, you get problem. Maybe we cannot get your voice.
okay.
Uh-uh.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
it
Go
is
ahead, please.
interesting.
Mm-mm.
It is interesting to become a teacher, especially teaching kids, because
Uh,
well, teaching kids is kind of interesting for me. Though the
you like
material is
sing a
not
song?
difficult.
You
Sing a
like sing
song?
a
Yes,
song? Yeah.
yes, sir.
Yeah. And then, uh, what is principle of teaching a kid based on your experiences, Mbak Elsa?
The principle of
The
teaching a kids
principle.
is the first is patience, sir. We have
Pardon?
to be patient when
Oh, patient. Right.
patient.
Yeah. Right. I
Yes.
see. Uh-uh. And then, kid usually maybe spend lot of activity in playing. How to manage
Yes.
maybe how to manage them, meaning that even they are playing maybe, but they can learning English. How to manage, Mbak Elsa?
I usually make my activity, English
Uh-uh.
activity, become a games. Like for example, I teach
Right.
them about color.
No
So I
color.
prepare some flashcards about color, and then I ask them to run to search for the color that I mentioned. For example, red. Can you find red for me? And then they will run around. They feel like it's like just a playing around, but it's actually learning activities.
Yeah. And then among four language skill, when to teach maybe kid, you teach maybe the kid the whole skill, four language skill, or maybe you select one of them or maybe two of them, Mbak Elsa.
I select
Uh,
only one or two of them because when I teach them all of the English skills, they will somehow feel confused about it. So I just choose one or two for the start.
what skill maybe you prefer to choose, Mbak Elsa?
It is usually speaking.
Speaking, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. What about sing a song here? What kind of song maybe the kids are interesting, Mbak Elsa?
Uh, it is. I usually find a reference in YouTube, sir,
Oh,
for
YouTube,
some
yeah.
songs like uh, the one we can find in Cocomelon or something. Yeah, they are. There are some learning,
Uh,
uh, English learning videos from them. So I just took some references from it and modify it a little bit sometimes.
usually, and maybe learning English with kids, how many kids are there? More 10 or maybe more than 10 kids, Mbak Elsa?
I only do the private course, sir.
Oh,
So
private course,
only
yeah.
one.
Only
Yes.
one. Yeah, I see.
Yes.
And then how long each meeting you have when you teach or maybe learn English with kids? Or how
Uh,
many times a day? In
with
one
kids, I
sitting, yeah.
usually do like an hour until
1 hour.
an hour and a half.
Oh, yeah. And then in one session, more or less, when 1 hour, yeah, Pak
Yes.
Elsa. In what session here? In the morning, in afternoon, or maybe at midday, when maybe the kids are interesting to learn, even here they are playing and learning English
They usually pay more attention when the time is in the morning, sir. Because when it
in
is
the
in the
morning.
afternoon, or in the evening they will feel sleepy, sir. So they
Oh,
tend
yeah.
to not listening to the teacher.
Also in the morning, yeah.
Yes.
In 1 week, how many days you teach them?
Uh, it is once a week for
Mhm.
some of them, but for I'm also teaching kids. I did it every day, sir. So it's
Oh,
different
okay.
for
All
every
right.
kid.
Okay. Yeah. And then to maybe improve your maybe skill in teaching, especially teaching kids here, what uh, your maybe activity to improve or maybe to increase your skill in teaching English kid, Elsa.
For teaching English for kids, I usually read some references from teaching English for young learner, and
Right?
then I also watch some YouTube videos and search for some like exercises and yeah, activities from internet to
Right.
broaden my reference.
What actually the purpose of maybe the parent, the kid parent here, they should learn and study English for maybe for their kid. What the purpose of their parent, Elsa?
Some of the parents usually say that they want their kids to be used to learn English because if they do not learn it since the very first time, it will be hard for them when they learn it in the elementary school or the other higher education. So they want them to be used in learning English since they are kids.
Yeah. Among maybe two maybe uh, point important thing here between literacy and numeracy here. Which one should maybe teach to the kid first? Literacy or numeracy, Mbak Elsa?
I think both can be taught together, sir.
Uh, what kind of activity so they can maybe learn literacy in one side, another here about numeracy.
In English, we have like numbers.
Mm-mm.
So we can like combine literacy and numeracy in some materials such as numbers, date, months, such kind of things. Like we can read read something regarding to the numbers and so on, but we can also like do some calculation in English. Well, yeah, I think we can combine it together, like literacy and numeracy.
And then now, maybe you join maybe teacher program, yeah, teacher training program here. But you should teach maybe not pocket anymore, but you should teach maybe senior high school, maybe junior high school. What point, what principle point different among them between if you should teach maybe kid, maybe you should prepare in what maybe certain here. Meanwhile, in teaching formal activity at school here, because you teach get here in private. Meanwhile, here, if you join uh, teacher training program here in formal maybe activity, can you tell us what actually the essential difference among them?
The essential difference is, of course, when we are teaching in the formal education, we have to make a teaching module and a
Uh,
plan. Because when we are teaching in private, we do not need to make that. But after I joined this program, I know that making a plan is really important before we teach because it will be difficult if we confuse on how or what to do in the classroom. So yeah, the essential point is planning before teaching is.
yeah. And you say that maybe uh, comprehensive preparation in teaching English, maybe senior high school or maybe junior school is play important role. Is that right, Mbak Elsa?
Yes.
Yeah, and then the next question here, in teaching module here, yeah, actually, if you have maybe learn or study or maybe you have listened about high order thinking skill, yeah, how does the teacher can develop maybe teaching module by maybe using high order thinking skill. Can you tell us about this, Mbak Elsa?
Okay, for high order thinking skill, the activities can be modified so that the students um, can do more critical thinking. For example, we can apply problem-based learning as the model of the teaching because problem-based learning can give students the opportunity to think more critically.
Hmm. Yeah, so what should we start in developing teaching module so that you maybe as a teacher or candidate teacher sure that maybe the teaching module has high order thinking skill.
Of course, first we have to know the capaian pembelajaran first, sir,
Yeah.
so that we can make the tujuan pembelajaran. In tujuan
Mm,
pembelajaran, we can develop it to become the high order thinking skill. For example, let's take one material, maybe about descriptive text.
mm,
Okay, for descriptive text, like usually teacher evaluate the students by some kinds of reading comprehension with
mm,
reading and some questions. The simplest thing to do the high order thinking skill is changing the questions from the the one that can be easily found in the text to the one they have to conclude by themselves.
mm. So here maybe you start from learning purposes, yeah. Learning
Yes.
purposes by maybe reading, maybe descriptive text. Are you sure text descriptive uh, contain high order thinking skill or need uh, to understand descriptive text need high order thinking skill, Mbak Elsa?
Uh, Sometimes yes, sir, because some descriptive texts are have some descriptive text has like um, difficult vocabularies and hard to understand, so it needs high order thinking skill.
Uh, so what is characteristic of high order thinking skill? You say here critical thinking. Is that right,
Yes.
Mbak Elsa? And then
Yes.
if only maybe find that difficult vocabulary, is that belong to critical thinking?
Uh, Not necessarily, sir.
Yeah,
I
maybe,
think,
yeah. Yeah, how to
yeah.
implement critical thinking when the teacher in preparation develop teaching module and then you should develop higher thinking skill. Meanwhile, the teacher maybe want to teach descriptive text, yeah, descriptive text. Yeah, my question here is that right here to understand comprehensively descriptive text, we should use maybe critical thinking,
Well, one of the technique that I usually use to build critical thinking for students is using mind maps, sir.
right? Yeah. And then
So
in mind mapping here,
yes.
what kind of activity in teaching learning process here? So you think here mind mapping belong to critical thinking,
So instead of explaining about them about the generic structure and language feature and some kind of things, I usually like give them the opportunity to like explore by themselves. First, I will like give the introduction about descriptive text. I give
um,
an example, and then like I give them just only a few introduction. Like, okay, this is the opening. You know that every text has a structure. This is the opening. This is the closing. So can you like conclude by yourself which one belongs to the introduction of descriptive text and so on and so far, and they will create a mind map about that. So they will like explore themselves. After that, I will like re-explain to them like what is actually descriptive text.
yeah. What is the purpose of using mind mapping, Mbak Elsa?
It is for them to gain knowledge first by themselves about what material that will be explained today to gain like the main point, the main, yeah,
The
the main.
content of the tag.
Yes.
If you say content
Not
of the tag, not the content.
uh the context that I usually use is for the structure and language features, sir. But it is also can be used for the content, but I usually use it for, yeah.
Yeah, if you use only structure and vocab here, remember Mbak Elsa, in tag not only structure and vocab.
Yes, sir.
Get the point here? Yeah.
Yes.
The point here, in each of tag, if you still remember, basic competence tell us that there are three elements of the tag. Are you still remember, Mbak Elsa? We have social function, generic
Social function,
structure, and
generic
language
structure, and
features.
language feature.
But you only mention vocab and structure. Vocab and structure belong to language features. Is that
Yes.
right? Yeah. Yeah, only maybe sepertiga. Meanwhile, you do not think or consider generic structure and social function. So is it true that is it critical thinking?
Uh, Maybe I still have to learn about that, sir. But yes, I agree that it is not like occupied all of the thing from the descriptive text, but it is just like the small part of them.
Yeah, no, because if you say that here maybe vocab and grammar here is necessary, I agree with you. But to understand comprehensively descriptive text, we should know and understand the element of text completely. If we do
Yes,
not know the element completely, I think our understanding is not comprehensively because maybe if we have three elements in descriptive text, we only focus on one element. Yeah, if you focus only one meaning or one element, meaning that you do not understand the content of the text, but you only maybe remember about maybe grammar and vocab. Yeah, to understand comprehensively, meaning that you should understand yeah each of element comprehensively. So uh, this is maybe should be combined among each element, or maybe what we call here is not here uh, uh, holistically enough if you only mention one element. Whereas, get the point here? Yeah.
yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, welcome again to Ma'am Sutri. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I have
it
right
doesn't matter.
in
Yeah,
the.
It is
Yeah,
okay,
I'm so
ma'am.
sorry, Bu Ayunda. Ini tadi saya dijapri sama Bu Ayunda. Bu Sutri ini sudah Pak Mauri sudah mulai. Iya,
yeah,
saya baru datang ini naik motor saya.
yeah.
Ya, ya, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, maybe you take a rest for a moment. I deliver some question to Mbak Elsa, yeah, ma'am.
Ya, ya,
Okay.
oke.
Beside high order thinking skill, Mbak Elsa, if you still remember about innovative English instruction, yeah, we should maybe fulfill innovative English instruction. Maybe is beside hot high order thinking skill, also learning character. Yeah, learning character Mbak Elsa ya, pembelajaran karakter atau istilahnya profil pelajar Pancasila. And then the last one, number three is TPEC, ya,
Yes.
technological, pedagogical, and content knowledge. Or automatically, three elements here should be combined or in holistic in understanding, holistically understanding. So you think that this is pembelajaran inovatif in bahasa Indonesia. Would you like to tell us which one is easier for you? Pembelajaran karakter atau TPEC, Mbak Elsa?
For me, TPEC, sir.
Oh, TPEC, yeah. Please
Yes.
tell us about this.
Because as I joined PPG Prajabatan, I learned so much that there are so many websites to implement DPEC, such as I implement it with Canva and then WordWall, and then I
Uh,
also used uh, some websites to create a puzzle. I found out that we can create a puzzle and then some crossword puzzle, such kind of things, sir. So there
And
are
then
so many.
choose, select one of them, and then how to integrate, yeah, one of platform here in developing a teaching module and then implementing teaching English practices. Yeah, Mbak Elsa.
Yes. I often use word wall, sir, because
Yeah,
in word
okay.
wall, like we have so many games that can be used to teach. For example, when I ever choose one game called True or False. So here the game is there are two statements and then
Mhm.
there are some limited time so they have to choose which statements are true based on what we have learned today. So for example like after 5 or 10 seconds it is changed to another statement so they have like to think fast to, to choose like which one is true and which one is false and which one is true or which one is false. And
Mm.
yeah, they like it because they feel like it is like entertaining but also challenging for them.
Is there any relationship this maybe material of game and material learning material, Mbak Elsa?
Yes, for true or false, I used it for, if I'm not mistaken, it is for recount text. So I
In
use
contact.
true or false from workbook for teaching recount text.
Give us example and the maybe the question is relating with contact, Mbak Elsa, if you still remember.
Okay, one of the questions is about the social function, sir.
Huh?
So the two statements stated that one of them, the social function of recount text, is to describe something, and the other one is the social function of recount text is to retell the past event. Yes,
Uh-uh.
such kind of things, sir.
So maybe the choice I think is really easier to
I
the good choice I think it has up distraction. You know distraction, Mbak Elsa. Very similar, close related. If you
okay.
say they describe and tell the, I think it's very easier. It's not maybe educated enough, yeah, because the
Yeah,
distractor do not involve in this choice. The
yeah.
distractor, ya pengecohnya itu tidak ada itu. Kalau memberi opsi seperti itu, jelas akan memilih pas event ya, tentu saja. It's
Yes,
not
sir.
good ya.
I'm actually kind of forgot about the questions, but yes, I have to like take a note of that when
Yeah,
I.
even here multiple choice, but remember, multiple choice is not easy for us. So far here, as I'm not mistaken here, because the option is very close related each other. So the student and the learner should choose carefully and then pay attention, lot focus on the option itself. Because the distractor here ya, pengecohnya itu sangat luar biasa. Tidak bisa kita mengatakan, oh apa hanya pilihan ganda aja. But if good quality, maybe multiple choice, can differentiate among the classification of student. Maybe high level, middle level, and low level. Yeah, get the point, Mbak Elsa?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Now, ma'am, it's time is yours.
Okay, okay, thank you. Okay, good afternoon menuju evening, Mbak Elsa.
Ma'am.
Okay, I hope you fine right now. Okay,
Yes, I'm good.
okay. Uh, I just want to ask you about your what is it? Case study, yeah, case study that you uh write, you upload it in your driver. Can you tell it why or how you take this become your case study? Maybe
Yes.
explain. Uh, okay.
So when I first came to this class, this is like 10 TKJ 2 from vocational high school. I taught them some introductions about narrative text because it's the topic, and because I still do not know what is their interest, like what is their competence, um, I gave them a diagnostic test. And first, the result is some of them didn't like English. Not some of them, most of them didn't like English. And then when I asked them to answer some simple questions like on like how are you, and then what do you feel, they were so confused. So
No.
I was so confused. Like, is it because I'm the new teacher, or because their competence is not really
Oh,
yeah good to understand the English?
n-
But then
not interesting
continue
at all
to
about it.
teach narrative. Yes. And then I continue to teach them. I played a video about the legend of Banyuwangi for them.
Okay.
And then I asked them to answer some questions. And they really didn't get the questions at all, ma'am. So they keep,
Hmm.
ma'am, please
Only
ini
only
apa,
keep
ma'am?
silent, no. Yeah.
Yes, no response. So after that,
No response.
I, yes, even after I like give them the text and explain it to them very slowly, they still cannot get like the the content of the text itself. So after that, I do some consultations with my guru pamong and ask them like about the condition of this class, and he said that the class the competence of English in that class is low, ma'am. So
Look,
they cannot
yeah.
understand about just about like simple vocabulary or the content of some text. So because I think that comprehension in the text is important, so I take the case study to increase the reading comprehension, especially in narrative text, because the topic that is going to be teach is narrative text. That is like the background of my case study, ma'am.
Okay, so what is your treatment for face about this condition? Only what you do at the time after you know it. Almost all the students not interest when you teach them, and then what is the treatment?
The strategy that I use is called dialogic strategy, ma'am. So
Dialogic strategy.
yes. So while we are reading the text, we do some dialogue in accordance to the content of the text. So instead of just reading aloud and then translate it one by one, we do some dialogue regarding the content of the text. The like basic things about dialogic reading is like that, ma'am.
Okay, I mean, so who's make a kinds of dialogue from the text, you mean?
So in my case, I divide them into some groups, and
Yeah.
then I show the text in the screen, but not the
Yes.
whole text, but like
Oh, I
paragraph
see.
by paragraph. So first paragraph, I ask one of the group to read the paragraph, and then I give them some questions so that I can do some interactions about the content of the paragraph itself.
Oh, I see.
To make it not boring, I make it like a competition, ma'am. So which group is faster to answer, they get point. At the end, they will get a reward for that.
Okay, so only you saw one paragraph by one paragraph, and then you make kinds of questions, and then the student try to answer it. Is it
Yes,
right?
yes. At,
Oh, I
at
see.
the end, I ask them to like retell what is the
Okay,
content of the text to make sure that they truly understand about the
understand.
text itself, ma'am.
And then how? Anyone can. retell it, or maybe no one?
Because their English competence is low, so I still have
Okay.
to like guide them
Oh,
slowly. They
speak
of course they
bahasa
answer it.
maybe ya.
And of course, ma'am, it is so hard for
Hmm,
them to speak English, but yeah,
to
I
speak
still
English.
appreciate their effort to like answer because at the very
Yeah.
first time they do not even want to answer even with bahasa, so it's like yeah some progress.
Okay, you only ask about their comprehension, yeah, reading comprehension. Not no after they understand and then they speak up and then explain in English. No, yeah, only oh
Yes,
yeah, you understand about this text. So it's enough like this one, yeah.
yes, ma'am, that is my
Oh,
focus.
okay. That's your focus. Okay. I think yeah, that is the good effort I think ya. Ya udah, terus apalagi yang dilakukan gitu ya.
What
Begitu.
actually the
So,
cause of the problem, Mbak Elsa?
pad ya.
Maybe the whole student in this class has low maybe understanding in English.
Yes,
Are you
sir.
sure
They
only
actually
all all the students don't understand about English, or maybe some of them only?
only two of them are understand,
Oh,
ma'am.
Oh,
only two. How
how
many
many
students in
students?
the class?
There are actually 36, but some of
Wow.
them like never come to the class, so it's only 28 who are in my
Yeah,
who are in my case study.
yeah.
Vocational school, where is it? The exactly.
Hmm, SMK 1 Trawulan, ma'am.
Oh,
Oh, anu, apa mana
what
itu?
what department?
Mojokerto.
Mojokerto.
Ya, Kabupaten
Oh
Mojokerto, ma'am.
iya.
Yeah. What program
Oh,
they have? Jurusan apa yang Mbak Elsa ajar?
For my class, TKJ, sir.
Apa itu? Pendidikan?
dikaji.
Teknik Komputer Jaringan.
Oh, teknik komputer jaringan.
Padahal teknik komputer jaringan ya.
What
I think
material you
that,
deliver? Materinya apa yang Anda
nah,
berikan?
Narrative text.
naratif teks.
Tentang tentang story tentang
I for the case study, I choose two stories, sir. The mouse and the
apa?
crocodile, and
Oh, they are
then
not interested. I'm sure they are not interested. There
Yeah,
is no
because
relationship with
it
their
is the
department.
relationship ya.
Gak ada hubungannya dengan
Yes, right.
departemennya.
Iya betul Pak
Kekeliruannya di
Fauris.
situ. It's not vocational
Ya,
school belong to this material. Anda harus masuk ke di mana dia tertarik, yaitu jaringan. Anda cari-cari tentang sejarah jaringan, tentang siapa orang yang kompeten di jaringan itu. They will be interested. Karena menambah
nggak.
pengetahuan yang baru. Kalau Anda cerita ke Kodel, apa hubungannya dengan jurusan mereka? Nggak ada. Nggak akan
Ya,
tertarik.
maybe make the story by yourself maybe ya. Ya nanti
No, not
dipelintir-pelintir ke
necessary ya. Kalau
caranya
Anda
jadi
cari itu akan
dipelintir.
tertarik pasti, karena itu
Iya
dunianya.
benar.
Kalau tidak, sama. Anda misalnya pergi ke tempat nelayan, Anda cerita tentang pertanian. They are not
Nggak
interested.
connect. Ya,
Iya,
nggak connect.
seperti itu vocational school. Ya. Nambah pengetahuannya, nambah kosakatanya, nambah wawasannya, itu harus muncul. Baru itu disebut
Kosakata
vocational
yang
school.
ada, ya,
Tentang bahasa-bahasa
relationshipnya.
jaringan itu loh.
yes,
Kalau tidak nanti mereka ya dipaksa diberi reward apapun ya mereka setelah kasih
Nggak
reward ya
apa.
sudah nggak ngefek
Ya
itu.
benar, ya benar. Ya,
Ya,
memang we have we are teacher ya. Elsa will be a teacher too ya. Guru
ya,
itu harus kreatif ya Pak Fauris ya.
ya.
yes,
Bagaimana kita bisa masuk ke dunia mereka?
Iya,
Apa
iya
kesenangannya
benar.
maksudnya itu ya? Baru nanti mereka
Ya
tertarik
benar.
belajar bahasa Inggris. Ya, jadi Anda harus
Iya.
menjadi bagian dari mereka. Jadi apa
Hmm.
pembicaraan Anda gitu ya. Misalnya pemahaman Anda itu harus ditingkatkan tentang komputer jaringan misalnya begitu ya. Kalau tidak nanti mereka tidak akan secanggih apapun gurunya, tapi kalau temanya tidak bersentuhan, tidak beririsan dengan bidangnya, tentu nggak akan tertarik mereka.
Iya,
Nah,
right,
itu
Elsa
yang
ya,
jadi
Yes,
Mbak Elsa.
tantangannya ya, Mbak Elsa ya.
yes,
Kalau
sir.
if you are
Yes,
interested in teaching later on, maybe ya, moreover if you maybe become English teacher at vocational school, don't forget about this ya. Kalau
yes,
Anda
sir.
masih general English, kan ada EAP, English Academic Purposes, ada ESP, English
Special.
Vocational School belong to ESP, no EAP. Ya, jadi bukan miliknya academic purpose, tapi miliknya specific purpose. Sudah harus di sana itu. Lah, specific purpose kalau sudah jurusan mereka sudah ada, ya itulah specific purpose mereka. Jadi Anda sudah jelas sebenarnya tujuannya. Tambah pengetahuan mereka, tambah pemahaman mereka tentang jurusan mereka, nanti akan lebih tertarik.
Iya.
Misalnya teks prosedur, jangan membuat makanan minuman, is not interested. Bagaimana
How to
merakit
bagaimana untuk
komputer,
melakukan
memodifikasi
hubungannya
komputer dan seterusnya. Harus ke sana. Mereka akan kerja sendiri itu nanti. Ma'am in English, ya mereka akan bertanya in English apa, ma'am in English, tapi mereka sudah mulai tertarik itu. Karena itulah untuk
ya.
mengartikulasikan kemampuannya. Seperti itu, ya.
Yes, sir.
Don't forget ya, you have
Yes,
to general English itu.
yes,
Not
yes, sir.
specific English ya. Mbak Elsa
Yes.
ya. Ya, ya
Yes,
tentu memang
Many
ya we should
yeah,
learn and study. Oke, go ahead. Silahkan Mbak.
many students boys ya, Mbak Elsa.
yes.
Ya, it doesn't
How
matter.
many?
No
Yeah, it doesn't
problem.
matter. How many for girls in the class?
Uh, for my class, it is balanced, ma'am, for TKJ.
Oh,
But for some,
ya.
Ya.
ya, some jurusan yang lain ada
The-
yang banyak lakinya, ma'am.
Oh,
Ya.
banyak lagi daripada. So, still interest become the teacher after you
Of course,
you still interest ya?
yes.
Iya, nggak
Yes.
apa-apa. Iya,
Ya, harus sabar, harus ya itu cari apa ya references ya. You have to find many kinds of references. Banyak baca ya Pak Fauris ya.
iya. Ya, sekarang kan
Iya,
banyak cari artikel-artikel di googling itu kan banyak ya. Nanti Anda simplify,
iya.
Anda itu kan gitu. Misalnya contoh yang sederhana, mereka ada gambar-gambar laboratorium komputer jaringan itu coba Anda desain, Anda bawakan dalam bahasa Inggris gambarnya seperti apa.
Nah,
Mereka akan
ya.
cerita ya. Tapi ya kita bantu, ma'am ini in English apa. Setelah itu kita bantu. Kalau Anda deliver, harus ada introduction-nya. Anda bertim dengan siapa, nanti ini yang akan kita presentasikan dengan gambar atau dengan apa, mereka tentu akan berusaha. Seperti itu ya. Ya, jadi kira-kira begitu kalau itu vocational school. Harus muncul vocationalnya. Jangan tidak muncul. Kalau tidak muncul nanti sama dengan anak SMA. Gitu, ya.
Iya,
Dan mereka
iya.
sudah memilih untuk masuk ke SMK gitu. Seperti itu. Nah, ya kalau kita
Iya.
ingat Ki Hajar Dewantara kan begitu ya, Ki Hajar Dewantara. Jadi engarso sung tuwude macam matut Wulihandayani. Setelah tahu pilihannya ya kita lebih banyak mendorong. Ini loh ada ini begitu. Ya memang begitulah pembelajaran itu. Gitu. Dan buat senang itu maksudnya dulu Ki Hajar Dewantara itu bilang sekolah itu seperti taman. Taman. Kalau yang sekarang kan tidak. Dulu itu kalau Anda pernah ke Surabaya, ke SMA 1 Surabaya, salah satu peninggalan budaya bangku ini dengan kursi itu jadi satu. Tidak bisa
Iya,
tidak
iya.
pisah seperti itu. Dan sampai sekarang oleh Pemkop Surabaya nggak boleh itu
Tidak
diperbaiki.
ada, ya,
Ini untuk cagar
benar.
budaya. Begitu. Jadi
Iya.
masih kaku sekali. Makanya waktu
Iya.
itu Ki Hajar Dewantara bilang, nah kalau sekolah seperti ini nggak ada yang tertarik. Maka dimuncullah taman siswa, ya, taman madya, seperti di taman. Suasananya itu nyaman, menyenangkan, gitu. Kalau dulu enggak, sekolah dulu itu. Seperti itu kan apa, Ki Hajar Dewantara kan salah satu anak ningrat kan, sehingga bisa masuk sekolah. Tapi tidak tertarik karena apa? Itu tadi kaku sekolah dari Eropa itu. Gedungnya bagus tapi ya tidak bisa untuk mobilitas. Untuk kelompok diskusi aja nggak bisa. Kita nggak mungkin memindah bangku yang sebesar itu.
Iya
Berat.
benar-benar
Kita
berat.
menyaksikan ketika bimbing 2000 berapa ya 14 sama prajabatan ada yang waktu itu masih
Hmm.
apa masih DPL di SMA 1 itu sekitar ya dulu sistemnya masih blok bukan semi blok ya itu satu semester di situ jadi saya hafal betul dengan kondisi sekolah yang ada di yang apa gedung di jajaran depan yang
Hmm.
belakang sudah tidak karena sudah dibangun oleh pemerintah Indonesia itu kira-kira ya jadi
Iya, iya.
Ki Hajar Dewantara itu begitu nyaman itu maksudnya masuk dunianya kalau pilihannya
Iya.
otomotif ya cari materi-materi otomotif ranking tentang nama-nama tokoh pembalap ini siapa kendaraannya apa di mana itu apa tempat-tempat mereka berlomba gitu loh sebenarnya masuk ke dunianya gitu loh tapi in English gitu loh ya seperti itu lah nanti mereka harus belajar mengucapkan itu dalam bahasa Inggris gitu tapi berkaitan dengan departemen atau jurusannya itu kira-kira ya Mbak Elsa ya
Yes,
silahkan
thank you, sir.
mau
Pada saat ngajar, pada saat ngajar itu Mbak Elsa, so uh, you see your you saw your students, yeah, your students not interested with your teaching. So pertama kali yang dirasakan apa berarti waktu itu?
I'm sad, ma'am.
Only set, and then what do you do for the first time? Only wow, gitu tadi. Or maybe you did the other you modify your lesson plan or what?
I try to get closer to them first, ma'am. So I like, yeah, try to
I
interact
see.
them, ask them like daily
Okay.
about daily questions just to like get closer for them. So for the next
Um,
teaching, I modify my teaching module into some like giving warm up activities like ice breaking and so on, so that yeah, they can be more interesting in learning.
okay, yeah, yeah, I see. So the first time he saw it, wow, a little bit shocked, yeah,
Yes,
a little bit shocked.
yes, ma'am.
And then, yeah, and then about their age also a little bit near with your age, yeah.
Yes,
Usia,
she
usianya kan juga
16. Yes,
tidak terlalu jauh kan
yes,
terpautnya dengan Pak Elsa. So
yes,
uh, I see and I know what what did you feeling like at the time gitu ya. Terus benar-benar shock gitu ya. And then only uh, apa mengadakan pendekatan-pendekatan gitu ya
yes,
to the students and then try to buat ini lagi lesson plan lagi apa ya yang menarik gitu ya.
yes, ma'am.
And then bikin game atau semacam ice breaking maybe
Ice
have
breaking, ma'am.
you ice breaking you gave them ice breaking what kinds of ice breaking that you gave to the students at the time.
I asked them to follow. Ini saya agak lupa sedikit ya, ma'am. If I'm not
Yeah, it's
mistaken,
okay.
I give them order, some
Hmm.
words like up,
Yeah.
right, left, and one more word. But I ask them to move differently than the word. So if I say right, they have to move to the left, and then if I
Oh,
say
I
right, they have to.
see.
They like to move around, so I try to find ice breaking that require them to move, and yeah, they are
Okay.
happy with that.
So you have they had to stand up. Yeah.
Yes,
Yes. And then ada pengaruhnya sedikit atau tidak waktu itu?
Alhamdulillah ada, ma'am. After that, they became like more focused rather than the very first time of our meeting.
Iya, iya. Oke, good effort at the time ya.
Hmm.
Walaupun agak-agak gimana gitu ya. Saya di rumah ini jadi ada suara-suara yang mengganggu ini sepertinya.
Ya nggak apa-apa.
It is okay, ma'am.
Nah,
Ya,
ini
thank you.
saya kamera saya trouble gitu.
Oh iya
Apa
Pak Fauri.
itu ini lightingnya nggak nyala sehingga saya nggak bisa
Oh
on
gitu ya,
kamera.
it's okay.
Nggak tahu saya.
Yes,
Ini
sir.
yang iya
It's
nanti.
okay. Enough Pak
Iya,
Fauris
I
or
think enough ya.
we have to
Sudah ya.
pray
Nah,
maghrib first.
oke, oke. Oke, thank you Mbak
Bef-
Elsa ya.
Before. Yeah, yeah.
And
Thank you.
doing
I'm
Thank
so
you,
sorry.
ma'am.
fantastic rest.
Yeah.
Everyone
Good luck, Pak
perfect.
Elsa.
Oke ya.
Yeah,
Ya, you're welcome ya. Ya. Good luck Mbak
yeah.
Elsa.
Good luck, Mbak Elsa.
Mudah-mudahan sukses ya.
Thank you, ma'am.
Amin.
Thank you, sir.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Ya, izin live ya.
Oke, Assalamualaikum Mbak Elsa. Ya,
Thank you very much.
Um,
you're welcome.